Hi, I'm Mark and I'm passionate about English. Okay, so for today's lesson I'm going to do another kind of reading. So I will read something and explain bits of it to you. And again, you'll be getting listening practice and also lots of new vocabulary. Well, I imagine it's new for you. And again, as I've said before, the more you listen to this, the more these expressions, the words will stick in your memory. They'll become more memorable. And the next time you hear them, they'll become a bit more natural for you. And before I start, I just wanted to take the opportunity. Take the opportunity means take the chance or... it's difficult to take the opportunity. It means to use this place to say something. And I've got nearly 16,000 likes on my Facebook page, Passionate About English, which after only about a month is kind of incredible. And I just wanted to say to actually let you know which countries are liking my Facebook page the most. I'm going to have to take my glasses off. And also a couple of nights ago I was watching a program about fake likes on Facebook. So this is about websites and Facebook pages which are paying for likes. And it was concentrating on some companies, well, we could say dodgy companies. Dodgy means, well, it doesn't mean criminal, but it means not quite honest. Companies in Bangladesh who actually just click on likes and the people get paid hardly anything, maybe £30, $30 a month to do thousands and thousands of clicks on a Facebook page or a website, to create fake likes so that people think the Facebook page or the website is very popular. And it was a very, very interesting program, but I would never do anything like that. So I really want to thank the people, thank you for liking my Facebook page, liking my website page, watching the videos. And this might be interesting to you. Bangladesh is not on here at all. But the countries with the most likes, the first one is Pakistan, then the Philippines, then India. Of course, these three countries have huge populations, so it's no surprise. But then, kind of surprising, in fourth place comes Peru, Taiwan, Turkey, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Kuwait, Mexico, Brazil, Malaysia, Croatia, Oman, Argentina, the United Kingdom, Colombia, Paraguay, Hungary, etc. And then I can also see which cities or towns have the most likes. And the one with the most is Karachi, which is in Pakistan. Lahore, oh my god, I think that's India, but it might be, no, it might be Pakistan. Lima in Peru, Taipei, which is Taiwan, Kuwait, Islamabad, Bangkok, Manila, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Quezon City, oh, I think that's Mexico, but I might be wrong. And so on. So yes, again, I really, really thank you, and I hope many of you will be interested in paying a very small amount for my courses in September. Okay, so today's lesson, as I said, is another kind of reading lesson. So I'll read something to you, but in this case, rather than read it all, I will explain it as I go along. And here's an expression for you: setting myself up for failure. So there are so many expressions and cultural references in the following that it's going to be very difficult for me to do successfully. So I'm setting myself up for failure. I'm making it difficult for myself. Okay, but here we go. And this is from a book. You may remember in mini lesson number 64, which was the 3rd of August, I was hoping to interview Stavros Flatley, who were finalists in Britain's Got Talent. And I didn't, but I still did a mini lesson. And here's a little expression for you, a spin-off. Okay, so when someone becomes famous or popular for something, they then might try and capitalize or get some benefit from their popularity by doing other things. And so this book is a kind of spin-off from them becoming popular. And actually, I'm planning to do spin-offs too. So, as you may know, I used to teach yoga and meditation. So, at some point on passionateaboutenglish.com, I will also be offering some courses teaching yoga and meditation, and actually teaching Spanish, Italian, French, Turkish. Some parts of it will involve me, some parts will involve other people. Okay, so let me just show you the book. Hopefully the camera can focus on it. It's called How to Be Greek. And Sonia, who was in some previous mini lessons, bought this for me before I went to Greece. Okay, so this section is called How Greek Is Your Love? And straight away, immediately, how Greek is your love? It's kind of connecting with the Bee Gees song from Saturday Night Fever, How Deep Is Your Love? Okay, so again, if you weren't a native English speaker or you weren't of a certain age, you might not understand this, but I guess in a way it doesn't matter. So, how to be Greek in the disco? When I was 12 or so means about 12, you'd never have got me and my cousins into a pub. We wanted to talk to women and about a whole lot more than the England's team's chances against Brazil. Talking about football. Discos were our hunting ground, and not just because discos is a Greek word. Well, I don't know if discos is a Greek word, but it may be. Hunting ground means where you go to hunt, and it's often meant if you're looking for girls or looking for boys, a disco is a good place to do that, or a bar, a hunting ground. We took our lead from top Greek role model John Travolta. So I don't think John Travolta has any Greek blood, but he's saying that he's a role model. A role model is somebody who is inspiring. And Maximus in Leicester Square was the venue for a bit of Saturday Night Fever. So he's talking about the movie, talking about dancing. And Maximus is the name of a nightclub in Leicester Square, which is in the heart of London. Even the name was right. You half expected to see Kirk Douglas under the glitter ball. A glitter ball is one of those balls which have lots of mirrors, and when the light is shined on it, it shines outwards. And of course it's very popular in nightclubs, especially in the 80s with discos. Showing off some moves with his short sword. Well, okay, I don't really know what this means, but maybe Kirk Douglas was in movies where he used a sword, or it's possible his short sword is referring to something else, one of his body parts. A few years later, when almost everybody else in my class was still fantasizing about getting served a pint, So that means that he was too young to be served alcohol in a pub or a bar. The Greeks set the bar a bit higher. Okay, let me explain this. To set the bar a bit higher is to set the level or the standard that you need to achieve. So if you are a good dancer and then suddenly there are lots of other people who are very good at dancer, they set the bar higher. So you need to raise your level to their standard. It was all about how many girls you could chat up. Okay, chat up I've explained. When you go to a bar or a pub or somewhere else and you're trying to impress a girl, maybe you say things about yourself or tell jokes, hoping that the girl will like you. And how many telephone numbers you could write down. So obviously the more telephone numbers from girls or from maybe boys you can write down, the more chance you have. Sometimes out of pity we took our British friends along. So he's kind of joking about British guys who are not so good at chatting up girls. I looked upon these sessions very much as tutorials or lessons in how to be Greek. Okay, so here are some of his tips or pieces of advice. Get inside her personal space. So her personal space is, I guess, what she feels, what she believes, what she likes. You don't have to be as Greek as George Clooney to work out that if a girl lets you get close enough to chat her up, she isn't pigeonholing you again alongside Fungus the bogeyman. She's prepared to let this cheeky Greeky chappie set out his stall. She wants to know today's special offer. Oh, that's why I told you I'm setting myself up for failure. So I don't think George Clooney is Greek in any way, but he's kind of joking because George Clooney is very handsome that he must be Greek in some way. Pigeonholing is like stereotyping. It could be negative, but in this case sounds a bit... No, this is also negative. Fungus the bogeyman is kind of, again, a cultural reference to a book. Fungus the bogeyman was a very ugly person, so it doesn't mean that she is linking you or linking or making you similar to that person. Cheeky Greeky chappie set out his stall. Okay, if you set out your stall, you are showing what you have. Okay, stall is a word I explained in a few mini lessons before, where you have your products and so on. But if in what he's talking about is in a disco or a bar, you are setting out your stall, you are showing who you are. Okay, show her, the second tip, show her what you've got. What I always offered was to take them out for a meal. And by that I mean a proper sit down at my uncle's restaurant in Cheam. Not a Savoy and a bag of chips on the Thames embankment. Okay, so I won't explain all this, but what he's saying is don't take the girl you like to a takeaway or some cheap place. Take her to a real restaurant. The Thames embankment, that just means the kind of the bits that you can walk along that goes along the River Thames in London. And this is a very interesting place. London is a fascinating city, not because I'm British, but it really is interesting. Okay, and the third tip is can't get enough. Whether it's money or women, a Greek wants more. I got my first car when I was 17, and that was it. I'd hit the jackpot. Okay, if we use the expression hit the jackpot, it means you've got successful. You've done what you really wanted to do. So let's say, okay, I've got nearly 16,000 likes on my Facebook page, and my goal is 20,000 likes, and in a few days it is 20,000. I say, wow, I've hit the jackpot. It means I've got what I really wanted to do. Of course, actually, jackpot is to do with gambling and fruit machines. So when you hit the jackpot, it means you've won. But generally, it means you get what you were hoping for. Because I had a job, I always had a nice big wad in my pocket. That's, again, difficult. It means a lot of money. To show the girls I was pleased to see them, and now I could drive them to some of the nicest places in town. It certainly made a nice change from the alleyway behind Morrison's. Okay, Morrison's is a kind of cheap supermarket in Britain. An alleyway is like, it's not a road, but a little place where you walk. So he's saying he can take them to nice places, not somewhere not so good. Actually, a word we would use is seedy. It means it's not very classy. It's not a good place. Okay, so I'll just do a little bit more. How to be Greek at a wedding. One of the quickest ways to be a little bit Greek is to marry one, to marry a Greek. And it doesn't matter where you come from. My grandparents didn't bat an eyelid when I said I was marrying a foreigner. Okay, to bat an eyelid. Okay, an eyelid is this, so I'm batting my eyelid. I hope you can see. But the expression actually means didn't pay much attention, or it didn't worry them. Okay, so I don't know, maybe let's say about my baby seagull, Louisa, if she suddenly flew off from my garden, which is not my intention, I could say I didn't bat an eyelid. It didn't worry me. It didn't bother me. I could say that, but actually it's not true. I want to release her by the sea. All these years I'd been thinking they wanted me to marry a nice Greek girl, but all they really wanted for me was to marry. The family unit is what counts. What counts is what matters, what's important. And as this book shows, there's always time, with the right kind of tuition, the right kind of teaching, to become a little bit Greek later. When your child comes of age, the only questions a grandparent will be asking are who and when. Greek in-laws. Okay, in-laws are the relatives of the girl or the boy you marry. Greek mother-in-laws can be a nightmare. Okay, a nightmare is a word I've taught in another mini lesson. A nightmare is when you have a very, very bad dream. But if you use it as an expression, it means it was terrible. So let's say I teach a class at a language school, and afterwards I say, oh God, that was a nightmare. It means it was really, really bad. Greek mother-in-laws can be a nightmare, which was one of the reasons I chose an English rose as my wife. Okay, so sometimes we say an English rose to mean a beautiful English woman. The other, of course, was that I love her. He's kind of joking. Now, stop looking over my shoulder, will you, and go and make me a sandwich. Okay, I can't explain that. It's difficult for Greek in-laws. They can't stop themselves getting involved. So some cultures, they really want to get involved with a marriage, and he's saying that Greek people do. Whilst the Brits, okay, Brits is often a kind of slang for the British people. Whilst the Brits let a couple get on with it means continue or do what they want to. The Greeks are always interfering. But their intentions are good. As long as the couple is happy, they're happy. There means the in-laws. Oh yeah, as long as they're pumping out babies. So he's saying that as long or if the couple are having children, the Greek in-laws, the Greek relatives will be happy, because Greek people like a big family, or so this is saying. When my wife came into our family, it was, well, now you're Greek. She'd married a Greek, she must be Greek. But his wife is British. Often they'd talk to her in Greek. But Papu, she doesn't understand a word. She'll pick it up. Pick it up, I have explained as well, means kind of understand naturally, without studying, without trying so hard. And do you know what? She did. Okay, I could do a lot more of this book, but as I said, let me get a bit closer. On my website, I have something called Up Your Street, which are actually my recommendations of things to buy, music, books, other things, which will help you learn English, or which I've mentioned and which I think are entertaining or funny. So I'll put this one up as well. So it's kind of very, very funny, this book. It's full of expressions. Even someone who really understands English would find some of it difficult, because, as I said, there are lots of cultural references. Even something like how Greek is your love. If you don't know the movie Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees song How Deep Is Your Love, you wouldn't understand. But it doesn't matter so much. You don't need to understand everything. Okay, so that's the end of today's mini lesson. Again, this is a kind of a reading where I read it and explain bits from it. So again, you're getting listening practice, you're getting vocabulary. Hopefully it's entertaining. I'll be doing one of those in every lesson, in every course. Okay, thanks for today, and see you in the next mini lesson. Bye now.